Hello, my name is Mrs. Keitel. I am the art teacher here at Wickham Elementary, and I also travel to Alexander here in the ICCSD. Today we are going to be on our third day of our underwater unit with the kindergarten. And we've been really lucky because we get to do a collaboration with our music teacher, and what we're creating are the backgrounds of our future performance this year. So on our day 3 of this, we are going to be using papers that we have created lines and shapes and colors and textures on, and we're going to be turning those into our underwater environments, whether that's making the creatures or the plants and organisms in those areas. But here's the plan for today. So our students have spent today planning out what their environments might include. They've spent a day, like we said, painting papers with shapes and textures and lots of different line work. A couple examples of those might be some green paper here that we had some texture drawn into, and then also this red paper that had tracings and tissue paper and lots of things added to it. So students will get back their plans. We've got some really great underwater scenes going on here, including different fish and coral, seaweed, all sorts of stuff. So kiddos are going to get their plans back today, and I'm going to borrow this one. This one's got a lot of variety on it. And we know variety under the ocean is very, very strong. So I'm going to borrow this one today as my example. And each student is to choose one fish or creature and then one other environmental element, whether it's a plant or an organism like our seaweed or our coral. So they're going to get the papers color coordinating with whatever they're selecting. I'm going to borrow this pufferfish today from my friend here, and I'm going to use that pufferfish design to create on my red paper. And then I'm going to do some nice tall seaweed as well using our green paper. So once students know what they're going to do, they're going to get their papers, and we're actually going to flip it over to the back. So our color is going to be on the back, and we're going to be doing the drawing of our shape on the opposite side. So my friend had a big pufferfish that was already puffed up. So I'm going to get myself a nice circle. And then I'm going to draw kind of those spikers that come off from my puffer fish. Once I'm done getting these drawn, my plan is to cut them out. So I've got my puffer fish here. I'm going to slide this over. I'm going to flip my paper over again for my green to do my seaweed. While we're doing these today, please encourage our kiddos to draw slowly. If we need to erase, we can always do that. But sometimes we can prevent little accidents by taking our time. So then I'm going to get my seaweed drawn here, and I'm going to make this a nice, tall, flowing seaweed. And because I'm drawing on the back and my details aren't going to be here, I'm just going to make the main shape that I need. I'm going to get a couple seaweed here. Once we're done, we're going to cut those shapes out. So I'm going to just do the remainder of the pufferfish here so we don't take too long and we've got lots of time to work. But I'm going to carefully cut around my pufferfish. If we're missing the lines a little bit, that's not too big of a deal because we know this is just going to be the back. Try to do your best. Some of our papers are a little thicker than what we're used to cutting. Sorry, I was off screen there. Are a little thicker than what we're used to cutting. So remember that we open and close and we try to move our paper to make it the easiest for us. And we can also, especially in little areas like this with these triangle shapes for the pufferfish's spikes, we can just cut right off and move our scraps over to the side. I'm going to guide all the way around here, doing my best. Now we use what are called tempera cakes to color these in. So our tempera paint is very nice and left a solid color on the back. But when we go to move into our drawing stage next, we're gonna have to use a specific material called oil pastels. And we're gonna use those oil pastels instead of markers or Sharpies because the paint on our paper now, ooh, check out that shape for my pufferfish. Because the paint on our paper would clog up those markers. So what we'll do first is we'll take a moment to draw any details, and I can come back to my plan if I need to remember, oh yeah, I had a cool face on here and some spikies. So my friend's face had 2 big eyes, a mouth, and I like this mouth has some funky teeth. And then they also included details of their spikes, which is really clever on the fish too, not just around the outside. So I'll get my pencil lines done. And our next step now would be to fill in any of our faces or these designs with our oil pastels. So everybody today is making at least 2 items. If you're doing seaweed or coral, you might have a couple pieces. But once you draw on the back, we cut out our shapes, flip over to the front, draw first with pencil, and then we will trace with oil pastels. Have a great time working on these today. I cannot wait to get these added on to our big blue backgrounds next time. Have a great day, kiddos.